October 3rd meeting of the St. Joseph County Board of Commissioners. Please stand, which you already are, for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our first order of business is bid openings for the Highway Department capital improvements projects.
Hi, Sky Metters, Infrastructure Planning and Growth offices on the 7th and 11th floor of this building. We will now read aloud the bids that we received for the highway garage projects. I will have our consultant from DLZ, Stephen Kronkowski, read these out because he knows where everything's at and I don't.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay, we have, how many here?
so they like come in and combine and then a Woodland.
Jesus. Oh, these are all from Brown and
Yeah,
Brown.
and those are all from.
Okay, so we have a total of 3 bidders. We'll just start the first envelope here. It is from Gibson
Steve, could you
Lewis.
move over to
Oh,
the
I'm sorry.
microphone just a little more?
Stephen Kromkowski with DLZ, 2211 East Jefferson, South Bend, Indiana. Sorry, thank you. So we're here for the bid opening. 3 bids have been received prior to the designated time. The first bid that we will open is from Gibson Lewis from Mishawaka, Indiana. And just to let you know, this project is 3 separate garages that we've requested bids for the capital improvements. We also identified and will entertain and consider combination bids. And then also there are alternates. So we will go through and read the amounts and then we'll go through and analyze those. So the first bid is from Gibson Lewis. Sure, there is a bid bond. So this is for New Carlisle Garage, Project A, base bid $893,000. Alternate number 1, an add amount of $56,000. And alternate number 2 is for $376,000 in add. Project B is North Liberty Garage. The base bid is $901,000. Alternate B1 is $53,000. Alternate B2 is $380,000. Both alternates are adds. Project C is Woodland Garage. The base bid amount is $903,000. Alternate C1 is $51,000 as an add. Alternate number 2 is an add of $374,000. And alternate C3 is an add of $10,000. There is a combination bid for A, B, and C. And the base bid amount is $2,662,000. Alternate 1 is an add of $159,000. Alternate C2 is an add amount of $1,125,000. And alternate 3 is an add amount of $10,000.
Project combined.
Okay, the next bid we have is from R. Yoder Construction of Napanee, Indiana. That's the combined. Is there an A, B, and a C?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Why don't we do the A just for consistency? So project A Project A, the base bid amount is $976,193. Alternate A1 is an add amount of $37,622. And alternate A2 is an add amount of $286,167. Project B from R. Yoder Construction. Base bid for Project B, North Liberty Garage, is a amount of $967,951. B1 alternate is an add amount of $37,622. And alternate B2 is an add amount of $286,167.
Let's see.
Project C from R. Yoder Construction. Base bid amount is $960,370. Alternate C1 is an add amount of $36,028.78. Alternate C2 is an add amount of $286,167.46. And alternate C3 is an add amount of $7,032.64. There is a bid bond that was also attached to their bids. R. Yoder Construction also submitted a combination bid for projects A, B, and C. Base bid amount is $2,649,369. Alternate 1 is an add amount of $112,866. Alternate C2 is an add amount of $858,501. And alternate 3 is an add amount of $7,032.64.
This is A from Brown and Brown.
Last bids we received is from Brown and Brown General Contractors, Inc., from Wakarusa, Indiana. For Project A, their base bid amount is $836,700. Alternate A1 is an add amount of $39,100. And alternate A2 is an add amount of $403,000.
B.
Project B from Brown and Brown General Contractors. Base bid amount of $847,300. Alternate B1 is for $36,700. And alternate B2 is for $402,900. Brown and Brown General Contractors for Project C. Base bid amount of $865,700. Alternate C1 is for $39,100. Alternate C2 is $403,000. And alternate C3 is for $68,600. Okay. I'm sorry. $68,600. There is also a combination bid from Brown and Brown General Contractors. Base bid amount of $2,529,700. Alternate 1 is for $114,900 as an add. Alternate C2 is an add amount of $1,208,900. Alternate 3 is an add amount of $68,600. And there was bid bonds for each one of those, if I didn't mention that before.
All right, now that the hard work's done, I'll take over. Is there anyone present wishing to submit a bid that has not already done so? Seeing none, we recommend that you accept these bids and turn them over to engineering for review and recommendation.
So moved.
Motion to approve it, or accept it, so motion to accept it, I'm sorry.
Turn it over to engineering to review.
Right.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Hi,
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote? Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
thank you.
Mouthful.
Sky Meadows.
Next is the bid opening for the Emergency Communication Tower Project. Are you doing that, Steve?
The guy with the tie will go first.
Where are the bids?
Hold on a second.
Hi, Nick Brovold, St. Joe County 911 Center, 58266 Downey Avenue. We were going to defer to our consultant, Steve, with DLZ as well, but I don't believe we have any bids at this time.
Oh, really? No bids.
Was any bids received in the Commissioner's office before 10 o'clock today?
No.
Okay.
Not that
Is
I
there
saw.
anyone that was going to submit a bid that's that's present today that did not submit it? Okay. So there's no bids received, and we will,
Do we have a list of bid packages that were requested?
there was, we are just assisting the county, so the actual consultant who prepared the documents, we will get with them and discuss, so.
And what is, do we have to re-advertise then?
At this point, because there were no bids, we can directly reach out to potential contractors and go from there.
Thank you. Surprising.
Yeah.
Next, accounts payable docket for the week of 9/25. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And the accounts payable docket for this week of October 2nd. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, we have several employee, citizen, youth of the month, but not everybody could be here. But I do know we have the employee of the month for August, and that is Caitlin Weber.
Yes. Caitlin Weber shows
Come
up.
up, come up.
Yeah.
Come up to the podium.
Right. She shows up
Get in the hot
each
seat.
day with a smile on her face and a helpful attitude. She is able to put personal life aside to assist the responders as well as the citizens of the St. Joseph County. She serves as a support system for her midnight shift crew and champions subordinates in a caring debonair. She never quits on anything. She is both approachable and knowledgeable in her 13 years of experience in dispatch. She takes every opportunity to guide as well as teaches to make our employee better each day. Thank you so much, Caitlin.
Well, congratulations.
You have 30 minutes.
Is there anything you want to say?
Good? Okay, cool.
No, I did my speech for the weekend at that person's wedding.
Well, we certainly appreciate what you do for the county,
Thank you.
and I can't be as dramatic as Commissioner Fleming, but you certainly have our appreciation for what you do and what everybody does out at the 911 Center.
The best career in the world. So thank you guys for letting me continue to do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and you can come up for some lovely parting gifts.
sorry, picture.
I swear that's not what I think about. No, no,
All right, ready? All right, you're good. And Carl, the thing behind her, the great thing is for her too.
You are kidding. Thank you guys so much. No, thank you. Yeah, leave it up at this bench.
That's next.
Thank you, congratulations.
Thank you guys. Julie said I could walk out. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the proclamation for Indiana Archives Month, and I think I'll read this into the record. This is from the State of Indiana Executive Department.
Yeah, go up to the podium.
Whereas the Indiana State Archives serves as the institutional memory that preserves state records for the continuity of government and the maintenance of rights and entitlements for Indiana's citizens, and provides guidance to local offices to ensure that records of historical value are preserved at all levels of government, and whereas nowhere is the state of Indiana's heritage more extensively and honestly represented than in the records created by and for its citizens, and whereas archives and records repositories across the state of Indiana collect, preserve, and make accessible government documents, photographs, maps, films, oral recordings, manuscripts, journals, electronic media, and other record materials chronicling the history of Indiana and its place in American history, and whereas archivists and historians are custodians of Indiana's legacy as a state and as a people, documenting the recorded evidence created by decisions and programs that affect generations of Hoosiers and still echo in our lives today, and whereas through these archives, Hoosiers of the future will be able to study the history that we are creating at this very moment, to learn from our mistakes, be proud of our success, and use the truths they have discovered about our past to build a better Indiana for tomorrow. Now, therefore, I, Eric J. Holcomb, Governor of the State of Indiana, do proclaim October 2023 as Indiana Archives Month in the state of Indiana, and invite all citizens to duly note this occasion. So, it's just fortuitous that at the same time the governor was declaring this Indiana Archives Month, several months ago, we submitted a nomination for being intergovernmental cooperation between the county and the city. And last week, we were pleased to receive that award at the Indiana Association of Counties meeting. And so we're great to have you here, as well as the mayor, since this was a joint city-county, one of many city-county cooperative efforts that have developed over the years. So it's just great that you and your staff could be here.
Thank you for having us.
And be recognized. And before we ask you, why don't we show you the short video that was shown at the
The 2023 Local Government Cooperation Award goes to St. Joseph County for their Archives and Records Center. St. Joseph County and the City of South Bend established a consolidated Department of Records Management. This department set up an Archives and Records Center.
Because there was a need for a central storage location, because the county city building was really becoming overrun with records. I think that both city and county saw a need for it and thought it was something they could collaborate on.
The collaboration between the city and the county has allowed the department to focus on upgrading technology while managing the records correctly.
Katrina, our archivist director, spends a lot of time keeping up on all of the trends, making sure that we are doing things correctly, managing the records correctly. The fact that we're moving towards scanning and easy, we use a system to access the data, the records. So there's quite a bit that people from surrounding anywhere in the county, state could learn coming over and seeing what we do.
St. Joseph County and South Bend have experience in working together. They collaborate to ensure local government is as efficient as possible. This project was no different, and both entities knew the importance of keeping the historic records safe.
Throughout the many decades that our city has been in existence and the county, we've accumulated a lot of records. So this literally is the history of our city, county, and it needs a place to go. And so certainly there's a lot of digitization efforts, across all sectors, and that's something we can do. But we also have requirements to maintain these physical records as well.
The Archives and Records Center helps all of local government work more efficiently. Having a dedicated facility helps other government offices from having to store and maintain records.
Kind of trite to say a one-stop shop, but it really is true that there is efficiency when you have everything in a location that's easily accessible and more importantly managed well so that the records are readily available.
The facility also preserves the county's and the city's history. And this is critical as some of the documents are very old and unique.
This is incredible. It's from our sister city. These are the types of things that we need to preserve. This is a part of our history. This is one of a kind. They came over and visited our city, and so this is not something you want to lose and lose track of.
To learn more about St. Joseph County and their Archives and Records Center, please visit their website.
It really wouldn't be possible. It's not the most glamorous department, but it does reflect.
You mean we're not flashy enough?
One quick story about that. The building that we're in is definitely not the flashiest, but there were a couple other awards, and they got to get aerial drone shots of the
I'm so
county city
jealous now.
building. So were we. We said, well, why didn't we get our county
Drone
city
shot.
building shown? But really is appreciated all that you and your staff do.
Yes.
And of course, the support that we also receive from the city. And appreciate the mayor taking time to come down, and he was a part of the video. Mayor, do you want to add anything to that?
Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you for the invitation to be here to celebrate this award and to share in Governor Holcomb's proclamation about archiving and preserving the historic records in the state of Indiana. It's important that we work together. We have a long history of working together, the city of South Bend and St. Joseph County, and we know that serves our residents well, and hope that going forward we'll continue to be able to seek ways to find common ground and make sure that we're doing the business of the residents and all of our residents, and we're able to work together, because I know that's what our residents expect of us, and that really does move our city and our county forward in the best way. So thank you for your collaboration, not just on this, but archiving, as you said, may not be the flashiest thing that we do or the thing that residents pay most attention to, but it's an important piece of our work, and just like every piece, it all has to come together for things to go right and for our city to move forward and our county to move forward. So thank you for this collaboration, and look forward to future collaborations going forward.
Does that mean you're going to drop a lawsuit?
That was at the state level. The state made us come. That was a state.
That'll be the next one.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Katrina, why don't you and your staff and the mayor come on up?
Wait, I
and
got
let's-
one more thing for Katrina and
And
stuff.
I'm so proud of you, Katrina. You do
after
such a
Deb.
great job there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And just quickly, I also want to add that all of this is possible because of my staff and the cooperation that we have with all of the county and city departments. They've been really receptive and accepting of some of the guidelines that we have for accepting records in our department. So we do appreciate the work that everybody does. Thank you.
First, all the staff, y'all can come up to the podium. And I'd like to thank former President Castelny, who, once I was elected, gave me the task of making sure we close out on that building, which is being rented for a long time. So we were able to
Yeah,
purchase
20
at a very good price with a new roof and all the improvements to add on. But everybody over there does a phenomenal job, so we thank y'all.
Yes.
Applause. And now we'll do a picture. Come on up for a picture in this lovely plaque.
Oh, that's quite a plaque.
Yeah, it's a street sign.
We got elected officials, you know what's coming.
She's still waiting on her county check. Oh, you get both the signs. Thank you.
Well, we have two, one for the city to display donations, and one for us, I think we'll put on.
And then Mr. Castellan can walk around.
You want me to help you carry it?
Oh, I got it. This is a real street sign, in case you're curious. Thank you. I didn't know we were getting a serious street sign. It's not even like a shirt.
Wolverine.
Well, next item on the agenda is Resolution R-20-C-2023, authoring the interlocal agreement related to the McKinley Avenue Water Main Extension Project.
Terry O'Brien, Economic Development Planner, Department of Infrastructure, Planning and Growth. My office is on the 11th floor. This is a resolution authorizing entering into a interlocal agreement with the City of Mishawaka to build a water main extension from the north side of McKinley Avenue from Evergreen Drive to Bittersweet Road. Phase 1 is already complete, which was from Evergreen Drive to Candace Lane. By doing so, we were allowed to hook up the fire station. The Penn Township Fire Station number 13 has been hooked up into this water line. Now we're ready for Phase 2. To move forward with Phase 2, which is the extension from Candace Lane to Bittersweet Road, we need to acquire 3 easements from local property owners at a cost of $30,000. If you have any questions, be happy to answer them.
Glad to see that the project is moving forward.
Yeah.
Any questions or
Negative.
comments? If not, do we have a motion to approve Resolution R-20-C-2023?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, ratification of the DLZ Indiana Letter of Engagement for the Facility Condition Assessment Project. Good morning, Bree.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bree Roberts with offices on the 7th floor of this building. As you mentioned, before you today is a fully executed letter of engagement between St. Joseph County Board of Commissioners and DLZ Indiana LLC for services related to the Facility Condition Assessment Project. This bid was previously awarded on Tuesday, August 29th, 2023 by this board. Due to the urgent nature of this work, this document was previously executed on September 22nd of this year, and work has already begun in relation to this project. The Department of Procurement asks for your ratification of this engagement as set forth, including the corresponding addendum.
Any questions for Bree?
Negative.
We're glad that the project is getting started and
Yes.
appreciate DLZ jumping right in there and
Absolutely.
moving forward.
Yes.
If not, do we have a motion to ratify the letter of engagement?
Motion to approve it.
I'll second the ratification.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bree Roberts.
Moving on to infrastructure planning and growth. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you
Aye.
vote? Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Here he comes.
I hope you brought a lunch because you've got quite a few items here.
Yeah, I apologize for that. I didn't realize it until I actually looked at the agenda myself, how many things I'd sent down there, so I apologize for that.
Nothing to apologize for.
You have a video along with this too, or?
No, but I can make that happen next week
All
if
right.
needed.
So, the first is approval of miscellaneous road resurfacing rehabilitation projects on various roads in all three districts. It's a final change order.
Yeah, what this item is a final change order for a project in one of our 2021 projects. It's just zeroing out the contract and has more or less just a housekeeping item for us before we can close that out. We've reviewed it and recommend your approval.
No questions? Do we have a motion to approve?
Well, did you say how much it's going to cost more then?
There's no money tied to this one. It's just to final everything out and zero out all the items.
Oh, because it says
It's
move
just
for
a close
approval.
out.
that it was 292,000 on
That's
the
the total project.
increase? Okay.
Yeah, that was for the total project,
Okay.
correct, yeah.
I'll move for
Motion to
approval.
Commissioner Dieter made a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter,
Aye.
how do you vote? Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, a similar project completion affidavit.
This is actually just the paperwork to close out the project that we just approved that final change order for. So it's just a paperwork item to start all the warranties and bonds and so forth. We recommend your approval and happy to answer any questions.
There being no questions, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote? Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, approval of the Fir and Brick Roundabout, the project completion affidavit.
This is similar to the last item, but it's for some work we did on the Fir and Brick Roundabout. It's just to close out the project and start the warranty bonds and so forth. Recommend your approval.
Just for context, have we had an inordinate number of damage accidents to that roundabout?
Yes, before we did this improvement, there were a lot more. What this improvement did was it took away some of the bricks. What we've had is a situation where landscape companies with trailers would come through and they'd mount the center of the roundabout and their trailer would clip the bricks. So we ended up taking the bricks out and putting a curb in around it. The amount of incidents we've had since then, reported incidents, are a lot less, and there's a lot less damage that we have to deal with since we went and did this project. But if you see on that curb, you can see the tire marks all over it, so.
Any other questions or comments? If not, do we have approval of the Fir and Brick Roundabout project completion affidavit?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next is approval of project number 211, the Angela Bridge rehabilitation over the St. Joe River. It's change order number 1, which is also the final change order.
Yes, what this item is the same as similar. It's the first, actually, it's the first change order on that job and the final because they only ended up doing one pay estimate for that job since they got it done so quickly. And so we've reviewed that and recommend your approval.
I would note that it's really a very small, the dollars are
Yes.
large, but it's only a little over 1% of the contract amount,
Yes.
which is,
Yes. That was a very good project for
that
us.
was a good project. Any other questions or comments?
Negative.
Do we have a motion to approve project number 211?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote? Commissioner Maxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Continuing on, approval of engineering services agreement for small structure replacement in Crumstown Trail over the Barlowski Ditch.
Yeah, this is a agreement with Lawson Fisher Associates to provide survey, design, and permitting services for Crumstown Trail or Pulaski Ditch. This will be paid for out of American Rescue Plan appropriation. We have reviewed it and recommend your approval and happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Crusoe, do you know where the Pulaski Ditch is? Okay.
There being no other questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve the engineering services agreement with Lawson Fisher for the Crumstown Trail over the Barlowski Ditch?
Right, yeah. Motion to approve?
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote? Commissioner Maxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next is an approval of engineering services agreement for small structures on Walnut Road over Beal Ditch.
Yes, this is the an agreement with Jones, Petrie, Rafinsky for surveying, design, and permitting services for small structure S661 Walnut Road over Beal Ditch in the amount of $29,074. We have reviewed the agreement, recommend your approval. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? If not, do we have a motion to approve the agreement with Rafinsky, Jones, Petrie, Jones, Rafinsky? I can never remember the order.
JPR is what I always say.
JPR.
Yeah.
On Walnut Road over Beal Ditch.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote? Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next is an approval of engineering services agreement on Gordon Road over Nespajani Ditch.
It's another agreement. This one is another one with Lawson Fisher Associates for surveying, design, and permitting services for a small structure S583 Gordon Road over Nesbit-Johnny Ditch in the amount of $181,460. It is also part of that American Rescue Plan appropriation, and we have reviewed this and asked for your approval.
Any questions or comments? If not, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
An approval of an engineering services agreement for a three-bridge structure rehabilitation in St. Joe County.
This is another agreement we are requesting approval for. This is with American Structure Point, and it's for 3 bridges in the county, some rehabilitation on those that is required per our bridge inspection report in the amount of $194,000. It's for design, permitting, and survey. We have reviewed this and recommend your approval.
If there are no questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter,
Aye.
how do you vote? Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Well, since we approved engineering services for 3 structures, let's talk about engineering services for 4 structures.
Yes, this is a similar agreement for 4 structures, 2 bridges, and 2 small structures within the county. This agreement is for survey and design and permitting with DLZ Indiana. And one thing I want to note is the amount in the agreement that's attached to the agenda letter is correct. The agenda letter had the wrong number, that instead of 194,000, that should read 800,000. The agreement that's in the packet is correct. We have reviewed this and recommend your approval. And this is also part of the American Rescue Plan appropriation.
Guess I had a little trouble with the math, too. I saw those other numbers and didn't refer back to the letter.
This is what copy and paste will do to you, so that was definitely my issue.
Any questions or comments? If not, do we have approval to enter into an engineering services agreement for the 4 structure replacement with DLZ?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Well, we're certainly on a roll. Approval of engineering services agreement, bridge structure replacement in St. Joseph County.
This one, I had another copy-paste issue. This is an agreement with SJCA, not American Structure Point. The contract that's attached, the agreement that's attached to this is correct. It's just I got the name wrong in the letter. That's second strike in this packet for me. So this is an agreement for design, survey, permitting with SJCA for Harrison Road over Leonard Ditch in the amount of $275,700. It's part of that American Rescue Plan appropriation, and we have reviewed this and recommend your approval.
Well, it is your second strike, but I'm as guilty. I looked at this and I didn't catch that either, so. Any questions or comments? If not, do we have a motion to approve with SJCA?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, approval of the settlement, release, and access agreements related to Jude Creek.
Yes, what these are is this is a request for the commissioner's approval to sign, for them to sign the agreement that we have come up with for the Judy Creek Estates homeowners that were impacted by excessive chloride levels from the Granger Garage, for instance, that occurred back in the 80s. I believe there are several of the, almost all, but maybe 4 of the homeowners that were impacted have responded, and those agreements are attached and ready for your signature. I'd be happy to answer any questions. And we recommend your approval.
Sky worked with Dan Corey as well as myself to come up with the terms and work with the homeowners. I will say Sky went above and beyond in communicating with the Jude Creek residents to get this done, so he did a really good job.
Thank you.
Good. There being no other questions or comments, do we have approval of the settlement, release, and access agreements for Jude Creek?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Finally, approval of the quote award for Darden Road project.
Yes. Yes, what this is we found a pipe on Darden Road that's in the process of failing and needs repaired. We sent out a RFQ to, I believe it was 7 contractors. We received quotes back from 3. And what we are recommending is that the quote be awarded to Grove Excavating in the amount of $50,000, and funds are available in existing accounts. We've reviewed this, recommend your approval, and happy to answer any questions.
Glad you found that before it failed.
Yeah, usually that's not the case, so
Good.
lucky this time.
Negative. Do we have a motion to approve the award to Grove Excavating for the Darden Road project?
Motion to approve for Grove Excavating.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you
Aye.
vote? Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I won't do that again. I apologize for having all those items on.
Thank
I'll
you.
read it a little
Wait a minute,
closer.
Sky, I have something more.
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to thank Sky and his department, along with all the vendors. We just went through 12 of these, and then all the bid processes, and most people don't know how hard that office works on a daily basis to keep our roads safe,
Right.
ditches clean, soon to be snow, in addition to our leaf pickup. So that stuff goes unnoticed a lot by the community. They'll be the first to complain when something goes wrong, but everything that you have done and your office, speaking for the commissioners, we really appreciate everything that everybody does up there.
Thank you. I'll let everyone know because they do all the work. I just get to stand up here and present
Well, I wasn't
everything.
giving you props, I was
That's-
giving them
So,
props.
but I'll make sure to let everyone know. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh, Dan Caruso, that a baby. There you go. He was clapping for the Nespajani ditch work.
Under old business, we have an approval of the contract with Crow for services to the clerk. Does anybody wish to speak on that? Has that been tabled again? Or- In that case, we'll just leave it. It's been tabled. I thought they were coming today, but must be next week. Before we go on to public comment, I do want to recognize a new employee. Selena Carr is our HR manager. Selena, stand up. Selena comes to us with an extensive background, most recently, I think, experience in recruitment with the St. Joe Health System. So she brings experience to the position, and we're glad to have you on board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, we are ready to move on to public comment.
Morning, Commissioners. Dan Caruso, 305 East Compton Street, New Carlisle. The mayor said it perfectly. You're doing the work of the people. We appreciate that. One thing that I think would, in doing the work of the people, coming into call is the open door policy. I really think the door should be open at all times for all the decisions you guys make. In particular, I'm addressing the, I'm still a little confused over it, the replacement of the two members of the Redevelopment Commission who I felt they were asking the questions I would ask. We still have never received any kind of an explanation on why they were replaced. I felt they were the most outspoken and most observant and most policing of that commission, and they were removed, and we never got an explanation why. And if we had been sitting there and it had been an open door, we'd know. Second, I want to address the electric battery plant proposed for New Carlisle. They're going gangbusters out there, smoothing the ground, all the heavy equipment out there. And it brings to mind, we just had an issue in the news in Dowagiac, lead in the pipes, Flint, the lead in the pipes, the chloride in the wells in Granger. How the Lordstown accident, the methylpyrrolidone that is poisonous. It causes birth defects, it causes miscarriages, it causes a whole series of things that is used in the battery making process. And here we are. I sent you all communication to the commissioners and to the council how bad this stuff is, and I'm all for new technology. We need to diversify. We need to get solar. We need to deal with hydroelectric. We need to deal with fossil fuels. Spread it out. Electric, yes, we need to go there. Electric batteries. but we have to do it in the right place. And with this chemical that's involved in the battery-making process, it does not belong anywhere near the Kankakee Aquifer, which is just below the surface of the land there. And any kind of spill is going to be not just to the residents in the area, because that aquifer goes to the Kankakee River over to Joliet, Illinois. Everybody along the line will be impacted with that. And there's another of the transparent thing of let's sit down and do an open door thing. We're not hearing what's going on with that. Thank you for the countdown. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Morning. My name is Kenneth Lebusky. So I live out on State Road 2.
Could you give us your address, please?
What's that?
Address, please.
26249 State Road 2, South Bend, Indiana.
Thank you.
It's over by Quince Road. So we have a problem out there that we've been fighting for 10 years. It's due to some of the semis that come through there with their excessively loud compression brakes. We've had signs posted 3 years ago, but they get ignored. They're not enforced. It's a huge problem out there. So I sent you guys an email completely identifying the whole problem that we have out there. I was just going to read it. I live at 26249 State Road 2, and I have for 59 years. We have finally got posted no compression brakes allowed signs by Quince Road. They've been up for 3 years now, but there are about a dozen semis that come through that look like they're the same ones every other day that come through there, and they just completely ignore it. The problem is that they're loud compression brakes. They're probably either broken or modified. So I have a dB meter. I'm 70 feet off the highway, and I measured these semis going past. They hit between 100 and 120 dB. That's a nuisance in this neighborhood because there's like 24 houses there. And they're so loud that if we're talking inside my house, you get interrupted by it. If you're outside, you can't talk. A lot of times they come through 10 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock in the morning. It wakes you up out of your sleep because they're that loud. We want this to be stopped, so we need some help. We're thinking that the best way to combat this is maybe to have the Indiana State Police sit at Quince Road and listen to see if they can catch these semis and write some tickets. So what's going on is, from the US 20 bypass, they'll cut down through State Road 2 to go to 94, so that they don't have to take the toll road, which costs them money, and it costs them money and probably another half hour worth of their trip longer. So that's why they're cut through there. They should be taking a toll road if they're going to have excessive weight or if they're going to be using these loud compression brakes. So the other problem is that there's been 3 big accidents right on that cemetery. As soon as you come off the US 20 bypass, there's the cemetery right there. If you're going west, and there's only about 100 feet to get on to State Road 2. So in the last 3 years, there's been 3 big semi-accidents where the semis end up in that cemetery. They busted through there and they completely demolished like about a dozen tombstones. Well, isn't that disturbing the dead? That's sacred ground. There's not enough room for them to scoot over, so that's a problem there too. So I come to you for help to try to solve this problem because it's a really nice neighborhood out there. There's about 36 houses, and we all think that those semis need to be tickets written out or to divert them to the toll road where they belong. That's my, that's about all I have to say on that. And
Your 3 minutes are up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
do you guys, can you verify that you got this email?
We will check on that, but yes.
Okay. What should be my next follow-up step? Can I file a complaint somewhere or
I'll
something?
talk to you after the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak?
Yes.
Oh, just a minute, we'll get to the folks online. We have one more person here.
Good morning. Laura McClellan, 6344 Indian Point Road, Leroy Township, Ohio. Good morning, everyone. I want to start by thanking Kara for helping me and my brother by sending mail that was received here at the County City Building incorrectly and calling me personally, which she didn't have to do, and asking where she should send this important mail from the Social Security Administration. She's the executive assistant to the commissioners. Edward's, my brother Edward, his address with the Social Security Administration was somehow changed to 227 West Jefferson Boulevard, which you might recognize as this building. This is very odd because the letter that Cara forwarded actually says inside of it that his address can only be changed by the payee. So I don't know who did that and why they would change his address with the Social Security Administration to the County City Building. So it's a little odd, but rather than insinuating malfeasance by, say, postal employees and citing federal law like certain attorneys might do, I am instead respectfully asking for the assistance of the commissioners in the county. There are other odd things going on with other former residents of Portage Manor with their mail not being properly forwarded and deliveries being rejected. No one seems to know what's going on, and a lot of families and residents we'd like some help. Maybe the county could use the $18,000 that was recently transferred from the Portage Manor Donation Fund that was transferred into the general fund. I mean, or maybe you could use that on helping some of the residents who are now living in places where they have to pay for their own toilet paper even. Or maybe you could use, I've recently heard that there's more than $1 million in unspent ARP funds that are just sitting around. Maybe you could use some of that money to address these issues. I don't know. I don't even live in Indiana, but I'm asking you again for help and to be just a little more polite and kind like your executive assistant was, rather than threatening and citing federal
That's our
law.
up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the room wish to speak? Seeing no one, we'll move to those online. Allison, I think your hand was up first, perhaps.
Thank you. My name is Allison Minesberg. I live at 2633 Arrowhead Drive in South Bend. That's German Township, but not far from Portage Manor, where there is an anticipation of 1,500 or so new vehicles with the 1,000 new units going in, tentatively, of course, and no plans to expand any sort of roads or infrastructure around there. So I personally like to avoid getting hit by cars or dealing with accidents. So I would like to get a little more exercise in. So I'd like to be able to walk or bike to the very close nearby to me, Meijer, Aldi, or Walgreens, so that I can teach my kids how to live active, healthy lives and not have to spend all their paychecks on gasoline. Unfortunately, the Bendix Trail ends up at the west intersection, or west side of the intersection at Bendix and Cleveland. If we want to try to cross just one direction of that road at a time, we end up either on a grassy area with a big curve and nowhere for us to go, or we end up at what looks like a sidewalk but is actually a single square of concrete that helps direct stormwater and unsuspecting cyclists into a drop-off to a low area near the Calvary Baptist Church, and where once when biking I almost got hit by a car because I stopped and my whole bike could not fit onto that single square of sidewalk. So how do I safely get my child in a stroller from the sidewalk on the west across the entire intersection to the sidewalk that is to the east so we can get to Walgreens and she can nap on the way when I go to pick up some medicine? Or how do I take my son and daughter and that baby in a bike trailer from there, that west side Bendix intersection with that real nice trail over to the Meijer or the Aldi grocery, or to get to the German Township branch library so I can get my foster baby back on track? so that she meets her learning milestones? Or do I just teach them that society only cares about those cars and doesn't give a crap about a family trying to teach best values about how to make ends meet in a world where cars are $40,000 to $50,000 new and gas is $4 a gallon and everybody's fat, and yet there's should be a walking path to get to the frickin' grocery store. I would appreciate hearing how the ARP dollars could go in to improve that intersection at Bendix and Cleveland. The city of South Bend has done their part. The county has not. Thank you.
Next, Steve F. had his hand up.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for taking our comments. Steve Francis, 54174 Juday Lake Drive up in Clay Township. First of all, I want to say thank you to the 95% of the work you do goes unnoticed by the public. I agree on the bridges and all of the work that you do in terms of keeping bridges safe and roads repaired, infrastructure, and the county funded. Appreciate that. I think, though, that the 5% that the public does become aware of, sometimes you create situations where you get a lot of, you don't follow what the public has expressed that they want, and it becomes very controversial. And you don't even follow the open door policies that are expressly written in state law. And I expressly want to object to the fact that you interviewed and replaced 2 redevelopment commissioners in violation of the open door policy. You were chastised by the courts on that. There's not much penalty involved, but I want you to take notice. I don't know how that happened. I don't know why an attorney wasn't involved in advising you properly, but I hope that doesn't happen in the future. The problem is the sort of hidden nature of some of your business continues with the Portage Manor monies that were transferred, $18,000. There was an attempt to put it into a capital improvement fund for a pet project. I think Commissioner Dieter, I don't have a problem with your project, but I do think it needs to be out in the open. And the committee, I think, denied that establishment of that capital fund. 4 weeks ago, I asked and testified for you to be much more open than you're being on how you're going to dispense with the Portage Manor properties, with the building, what you're going to do out there, and to go beyond the Open Door Act and hold open public community meetings about what to do with the building and that historic property. Second, on the work that's being done out in the Industrial Enterprise Center, I also encourage you to go a step beyond open door policies and investigate what is coming into our community in terms of hazardous wastes, because there's much more that you're not aware of besides the spill over in Lordstown, in which the public needs to know. And I don't think you want to be on the hook for not having known or even investigated what is available. I encourage you to establish meetings, public meetings with the company to come in and assuage our fears and our concerns about what hazardous wastes are going to be used out there and what protective measures are being taken. I don't think that that's been done. I don't think any of you have an understanding of that hazardous waste. As you know, I was 10 years. I was chair of the largest environmental organization for the state of Indiana, and I'm aware of a lot of hazardous.
Your 3
waste.
minutes are up. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll speak next time.
Anyone else online wish to speak? Seeing no one, do we have a motion to recess?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote? Commissioner Baxmeyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Recording stopped.